So I think without further ado, we're going to go to our first speaker, and the title could not be more apt. Bouncing back and taking off. It's Richard de Villa. He's head of marketing in Europe at Malaysia Airlines, obviously one of the sector's most hits. So let's kick off with a great start from Richard. Richard, over to you.
Thank you very much. Hello, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Richard de Villa here from Malaysia Airlines, looking after all things marketing for UK and Europe. Today, we'll be looking at where we have come from over the past year and offer a very condensed snapshot of some examples of the steps and fundamentals we have developed and put in place as we look forward to demand converting and actual trips happening again. It's been almost a year now when lockdown was being rolled out across Europe. What hardly anybody has predicted was how long it would actually last. The travel industry, particularly aviation, has been one of the hardest hit sectors as a result of this crisis. There has been seemingly lights at the end of the tunnel, a very long tunnel, but as we know, government restrictions following the new variants early this year has renewed weakness and stifled any sustained upswing in bookings and conversion. We have seen that surges in conversion happen almost instantaneously following any positive roadmap announcements from the government. Here in the UK, we've seen sharp increases in travel demand following the roadmap lockdown easing announced last 23 of Feb, and we wait very intently for details of international travel on the 12th of April. And we expect whether supplier or consumer like everybody here will be looking at this very intently and planning their holidays for the coming year and the year after. Right at the beginning, as early as Feb last year, our brilliant colleagues in customer experience and marketing in head office had the excellent foresight to run a very detailed customer survey. This was sent direct to our consumers within our ecosystem, where we received a very high engagement. We also continue to run surveys throughout the year to assess the situation and continue to do this to engage with their customers and find out what exactly is it they want to know about, what they need, and the information they read about, whether it's from government restrictions, what they need to go on board, what safety measures are there. It's all about getting that information. Last, we also utilize the many powerful tools we have at our disposal to analyze zero, first, and second-party data from our key travel partners in the industry, from OTAs, travel agents, tour operators, and even credit card providers as we continue to adapt our strategy. From the initial surveys we conducted, we found out that customers were apprehensive about safety on board and the risk of being infected, either at their destination or throughout their journey. They were also being nervous about being stuck there if government restrictions continue to change too rapidly. And we did see this as the case throughout all of 2020, and sometimes even continues to be the case now. In terms of that, the remaining customer segments who do needed to fly on essential travel have been significantly reduced their purchasing windows and changed their consideration factors for converting. What used to take 3 to 6 months between purchase and travel for a long-haul flight now takes 2 to 4 weeks or even less. On the other end of the scale, we've also noticed customers booking trips very far in advance. As early as this year, we're seeing people already booking and looking for trips as far as 2022. So what this means is there still is a very low demand for medium-term planning, as expected, given the travel restrictions seem to be unclear and people are just looking at very far ahead. What really then changed throughout the year, though, was people's desire to consume inspirational and aspirational content and see the destinations about where they enjoy going to and will be booking it as soon as it's possible to do so. So what did we do with all these insights? Some examples. Following the earlier customer surveys in the beginning of last year, we launched a new product called Economy Flex. We were one of the first airlines to launch a fully flexible fare product, allowing customers to change their travel arrangements an unlimited number of times without any change fee, and be able to refund their tickets without any penalties if their plans do change or plans change for them. In addition, it gives passengers the added benefits of priority boarding, priority check-in, and priority baggage. The take-up of this has been immediately apparent, with the majority of bookings on our site in the UK taking up this Economy Flex product. A campaign that we continue to use, which underpins all of our communications in market, is Fly Confidently. We continue to update this. It covers our marketing campaigns to our always on social media, and even is included in all of our press releases and communication apps. What it does, it covers and highlights all the safety measures undertaken by the airline to keep passengers safe, from mandatory face masks, what people need to do before boarding the airplane, requirements, full PPE worn by the crew, changes in meal service, complimentary hygiene kits provided to all our passengers, the very stringent cleaning procedures, which happens after every flight, disinfecting all the touch points, and it also includes the flight schedule, which always changes depending on demand. But we still haven't stopped flying to our key destinations, and people still need to travel for a lot of essential reasons. And for the inspirational piece, we continue to partner with a lot of key platforms, one of which early in June last year, we partnered with the Daily Mail and the Datai as part of their check-in series, and one of the first few airlines to offer a bit of escapism, allowing the readers to be able to win a holiday to take maybe this year or even next year. And what it does is it gives something to look forward to when people are allowed, and expectantly we received an enormous amount of participation for this one. Back in November, we partnered with Heathrow. They have their Fly Safe campaign, and it worked quite well with our Fly Confidently campaign. And we invited a load of frequent flyer press and travel trade press to the airport to simulate the entire customer journey from arriving at the airport, getting on board, getting back to Heathrow, and then leaving the airport. And this highlighted all the safety measures throughout their customer journey. Following that, we are in a series of webinars with the travel trade publications for them to advise their customers, for travel agents to advise their customers how safe it is to fly and the measures that are being put in place and have been put in place. In Q1 this year, all these safety measures were recognized by airlineratings.net and awarded Malaysia Airlines a full 7-star rating for its COVID safety measures. We continue to use this banner across all our external communications and even our partnership campaigns with some of the travel trade. We continue to highlight our flying capacity and flying schedule for people who do need to fly and remain the only non-stop service from Kuala Lumpur from London. We also partnered with Condé Nast Travel and one of the first airlines to jump on board their new platform, which is called the Escape Routes Podcast, where they invite authors, previous editors to narrate in a podcast about the destinations they've been to in the past. So we use this to highlight and enforce awareness on the key routes that we do fly to, for example, like Borneo, Ubud, and Bali. The result of this was almost 6,000 downloads for the 3 episodes and received media coverage of 80,000 pounds. Key takeaways, what we want to focus on, number one, as a result of this, is relevancy. Customers will remember how well they've been treated during COVID, and it will breed a stronger and deeper level of trust and loyalty. And it's about getting the right message at the right time to customers and exactly what they want to see and what they want to read about. Another important thing as well is adaptability at speed. As we've seen, there's been a seesaw of announcements from the government. One day, it's travel will open up in May, go ahead and book your holiday. The next day, it's too early to book a holiday, don't book a holiday. This does have an immediate impact in customer sentiment, and what government sometimes fails to understand is how long and how many stakeholders are involved in the travel supply chain. It's not simply a hotel and an airline, it's everything that happens in between. Booking isn't illegal, especially now that customers have a lot of options for flexible travel, including economy flex. Demand is not an issue for travel, as people will be ready to go to these amazing destinations as soon as the restrictions get lifted, and we're here to fly you when the time is right. Thank you very much for tuning in today, and we're open to hearing some questions over the next 2 minutes. Thank you.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much. So brilliant way to start today's show. So lots of questions coming in. I'll pick some of the best. And remember, you can win a prize for the best question today. This is something I think everyone's kind of thinking and it's from an anonymous questioner. With the boom in Zoom, is the era of business travel over?
Not at all. So while it may be reduced, corporate travel is a key focus for us. We're continuing to grow our leads for corporate business. That will come back because, for example, business travel, sometimes maybe the face-to-face meeting that may be reduced, but there are a lot of essential business travel that goes on until today, from healthcare, marine, people working offshore. That still happens today, and that will continue to happen.
Fantastic. Now, question here from me. You talked a lot about different channels such as video and social media that you've been using over the last year. What's been the most effective channel, do you think, in communicating and getting across the trust to your customers?
I think it's about consistency of message, because what we find out is our customers, they tend to use a lot of different channels, from social media to the preferred travel agent. So they want to see the same message from us across their customer journey. And it's not an impulse purchase, buying a ticket and a holiday. It's a very big amount, so it's not something that they make on the fly. So they will be traversing throughout their journey online. And so keeping the message important throughout all of this is key.
Fantastic. Well, we're out of time. Thank you so much. That was a simply superb start to our day today. So thank you so much again.